Spasticity increase on exertion. So my definition, since I've made my spasticity videos on YouTube, has broadened a little bit due to some viewers bringing it to my attention that my focus is a little bit narrowed on my definition, and I agree. So spasticity is velocity dependent, meaning sometimes if you lengthen a muscle too quickly, the muscle will recoil, and that is due to difficulty with the inhibition system in our body. So we have a system that inhibits muscles from contracting. That system gets disrupted, and that is dependent on velocity. So in that situation, when you exert, a lot of times that just puts more information into the excitatory system, meaning that not having that inhibition is going to be even worse. So yes, exertion definitely can make spasticity worse, but there are other things that can make spasticity worse too. And some people have worse spasticity just with sitting still. And the theory behind that is that our bodies after a stroke, where we lose a lot of strength, are looking for stability. So if you get in an unusual position, the muscles that do work, your body is just trying to get them to contract to just stabilize your body any way it can to compensate for the weakness. And in that case, I don't think it's necessarily dependent on exertion. But if you quickly lengthen a muscle. So if you, for instance, if you notice that your arm is always involuntarily bending up, a quick test you can do is just quickly try and pull it away from your body. When you quickly try and pull it away from your body, if it immediately and powerfully tries to flex back up, then that means that you have spasticity due to velocity dependent contraction. And in that situation, if that is you, then I do think overexerting would make that spasticity worse. But that is not going to be the case for everyone. But in my experience, about 80% of the time, if you try and do something that's way too challenging or you go way too fast, yes, spasticity will worsen. But don't take my word for it. My overarching goal for this channel is not to tell anyone what you should do. I want everyone to be able to think for themselves and look at your body and figure out what is best for you based on kind of theories and rationale. So in this case, I would say if you notice a consistent theme between a certain movement or a certain exercise and having an involuntary muscle contraction that interferes with your ability to do whatever you want to do in that moment, I would figure out what that trigger is and try and eliminate that. So if it's you sped up and it got worse, and now you can't do the exercise you wanted to do, or you can't do the movement that you wanted to do, or you can't put your shirt on the way you wanted to put your shirt on, then I would say slow down. If you do things faster and you want to get faster at walking and you don't see any change in your body that's interfering with your movement, then I would say try and walk faster. So I think it's just all going to depend on each person individually. So I hope that helps all of you to be able to look at your own body and problem solve that and figure out how to adapt or modify exercises to minimize the amount of spasticity.